Cattle-Raid of Cooley, Part 6, The March of the Host. On the first day the host went from Cuchulain, they slept the night at Cuchulain, where today is Carlin's Low. And in that place was fixed the tent of Ihil, son of Ross, and the trappings were arranged, both bedding and bedclothes. The tent of Fergus MacRoig was on his right hand. Cormac Congalis, Conchobar's son, was beside him. Ethgate was next to that. Finichu MacFiraba, the son of Conchobar's daughter, at its side. Conall Cernach at its side. Gobnen MacLernig at the side of that. The place of Ihil's tent was on the right of the march, and 300 men of Ulster beside him. And the 300 men of Ulster on the right hand he had to the end that the whispered talk, the conversation, and the choice supplies of food and drink might be nearer to them. Medb of Connaught, daughter of Echo Fedlech, moreover, was at Ihil's left. Finnabar Fairbrow, daughter of Ihil and Medb, at her side, besides servants and henchmen. Next, Findace Fulchame of the lovely hair, wife first of Ihil Finn the fair. She took part in the cow spoil of Coolnge after she had slept with Fergus, and it was that every seventh night brought sustenance and milk to the men of Erin on the march, for king and queen and prince and poet and pupil. Maeve remained in the rear of the host that day in quest of tidings and augury and knowledge. She called to her charioteer to get ready her 9 chariots for her, to make a circuit of the camp, that she might learn who was loath and who eager to take part in the hosting. With 9 chariots she wont to travel, that the dust of the great host might not soil her. Maeve suffered not her chariot to be let down, nor her horses unyoked, until she had made a circuit of the camp. Then when she had reviewed the host, were Maeve's horses unyoked, and her chariots let down, and she took her place beside Ihil MacMada. And Ihil asked tidings of Maeve, who was eager and who was loath for the warfare. Futile for all is the emprise, but for one troop only, namely the division of the Gelebron of Leinster, quoth Maeve. Why blamest thou these men? Queried Ihil. It is not that we blame them, Maeve made answer. But good service then have these done, that they are praised above all, asked Ihil. There is reason to praise them, said Maeve. Splendid are the warriors. When the others begin making their pens and pitching their camp, these have finished building their bothies and huts. When the rest are building their bothies and huts, these have finished preparing their food and drink. When the rest are preparing their food and drink, these have finished eating and feasting, and their harps are playing for them. When all the others have finished eating and feasting, these are by that time asleep. And even as their servants and thralls are distinguished above the servants and thralls of the men of Erin, so shall these their heroes and champions be distinguished beyond the heroes and champions of the men of Erin at this time on this hosting. It is folly then for these to go, since it is those others will enjoy the victory of the host. So much the better, I vow, replied Ihil, for as with us they go, and it is for us they fight. They shall not go with us, nor shall they fight for us, cried Maeve. Let them stay at home then, said Ihil. Stay they shall not, answered Maeve. They will fall on us in the rear, and will seize our land against us. What shall they do then? Finnabar asked. If they go not out, not yet remain at home. Death and destruction and slaughter is what I desire for them, answered Maeve. For shame then on thy speech, spake Ihil. 'Tis a woman's advice, for that they pitch their tents and make their pens so promptly and unwearily. By the truth of my conscience, cried Fergus, not thus shall it happen, for they are allies of us men of Ulster. No one shall do them to death, but he that does death to himself along with them. Not to me us thou thus to speak, O Fergus, then cried Maeve, for I have hosts enough to slay and slaughter thee with the division of Leinstermen round thee. For there are the 7 main, that is, my 7 sons with their 7 divisions, and the sons of Maga and their 7 divisions, and Ihil and his division, and I myself and my own bodyguard beside. We are strong enough here to kill and slaughter thee with thy cantred of Leinstermen round thee. "It befits thee not thus to speak to me," said Fergus, "for I have with me here in alliance with us Ulstermen the 7 under-kings of Munster, with their 7 cantreds. Here we have what is best of the youths of Ulster, even the division of the Black Banishment. Here we have what is best of the noble youths of Ulster, even the division of the Galleon of Leinster. Furthermore, I myself am bond and surety and guarantee for them, since ever they left their own native land. I will give thee battle in the midst of the camp, and to me will they hold steadfast on the day of battle." "More than that," added Fergus, "these men shall be no subject of dispute. By that I mean I will never forsake them. For the rest we will care for these warriors to the end that they get not the upper hand of the host. The number of our force is 17 cantreds, besides our rabble and our women folk, for with each king was his queen in Maeve's company, and our striplings, the 18th division, is namely the cantred of the Galleon. This division of Leinster I will distribute among all the host of the men of Erin in such wise that no 5 men of them shall be in any one place." That pleaseth me well," said Maeve. "Let them be as they may, if only they be not in the battle order of the ranks where they now are in such great force." Forthwith, Fergus distributed the cantred of the Galleon among the men of Erin in such wise that there were not 5 men of them in any one place. Thereupon the troops set out on their way and march. It was no easy thing for their kings and their leaders to attend to that mighty host. They took part in the expedition according to the several tribes and according to the several stems and the several districts wherewith they had come, to that end that they might see one another and know one another, that each man might be with his comrades and with his friends and with his kinfolk on the march. They declared that in such wise they should go. They also took counsel in what manner they should proceed on their hosting. Thus they declared that they should proceed, each host with its king, each troop with its lord, and each band with its captain, each king and each prince of the men of Erin, and by a separate route on its halting height apart. They took counsel who was most proper to seek tiding in the advance of the host between the 2 provinces, and they said it was Fergus, as much as the expedition was an obligatory one with him, for it was he that had seen several years in the kingship of Ulster. And after Conchobar had usurped the kingship, and after the murder of the sons of Usnech, who were under the protection and surety, Fergus left Ultonians, and for 17 years he was away from Ulster in exile and in enmity. For that reason it was fitting that he above all should go after tidings. So the lead of the way was entrusted to Fergus. Fergus before all fared forth to seek tidings, and a feeling of love and affection for his kindred of the men of Ulster came over him, and he led the troops astray in a great circuit to the north and the south, as he dispatched messengers with warnings to the Ulstermen, and he began to detain and delay the host. Maeve perceived this, and she upbraided him for it, and chanted the lay. "Maeve, Fergus, speak. What shall we say? What may mean this devious way? For we wander north and south, over other lands we stray." "Fergus, Maeve, why art thou so perturbed? There's no treacherous purpose here. Ulster's land it is, O Queen, over which I led thy host." Maeve, "Eyehill, splendid with the host, fears thee lest thou shouldst betray. Thou hast not bent all thy mind to direct us on our way." Fergus, "Not to bring the host to harm, make these charging circuits I. Happily could I now avoid Saltnack's son, the blacksmith's hound." Maeve, "Ill of thee to wrong our host, Fergus, son of Ross the Red. Much good hast thou found with us, Fergus, in thy banishment." "I will be in the van of the troops no longer," cried Fergus, "but do thou find another to go before them." For all that, Fergus kept his place in the van of the troops. The 4 mighty provinces of Erin passed that night on Cuchulain. The sharp, keen-edged anxiety for Cuchulain came upon Fergus, and he warned the men of Erin to be on their guard, because there would come upon them the rapacious lion, and the doom of foes, the vanquisher of multitudes, and the chief of retainers, the mangler of great hosts, the hand that dispenseth treasures, and the flaming torch, even Cuchulain, son of Sualtain. And thus he foreshadowed him and chanted a lay, and Maeve responded. Well for ye to heed and watch with array of arms and men. He will come, the one we fear, Murtham's great deedful youth. Maeve, how so dear this battle-rede comes from thee, Roig's son most bold. Men and arms I have enough to attend Cuchulain here. Fergus, thou shalt need them, Maeve of I. Men and arms for battle hard, with the grey steeds horsemen brave, all the night and all the day. Maeve, I have kept here in reserve heroes fit for fight and spoil, 300 hostage chiefs, Leinster's bravest champions they, fighting men from Cuchulain fair, brave from clear-streamed Loichair. Fourfold realms of goodly gals will defend me from this man. Fergus, rich in troops from morn and ban, blood he'll draw or shafts of spear, he will cast to mire and sand these 3,000 Leinstermen. With the swallow's swiftest speed, with the rush of biting winds, so bounds on my dear brave hound, breathing slaughter on his foes. Maeve, Fergus, should he come between us, to Cuchulain bear this word. He were prudent to stay still, Cuchulain holds a check in store. Fergus, valiant will the slaughter be, Bab's wild daughters gloats upon, for the blacksmith's hound will spill showers of blood on hosts of men. After this lay, the men of the 4 grand provinces of Erin marched on the morrow over Moin Cultna, the march of Cuchulain, eastwards that day, and there met them 80 deer in a single herd. The troops spread out and surrounded and killed them, so that none of them escaped. But there is one event to add. Although the division of the Galleon had been dispersed among the men of Erin, wherever there was a man of the Galleon, it was he that got them, except 5 deer only, which was the men of Erin's share thereof. So that one division took all the 80 deer. It was on that same day, after the coming of the warning of Fergus to the Ulstermen, that Cuchulain, son of Sualtain, and the Sualtain Sidich of the Fairy Mound, his father, when they had received a warning from Fergus, came so near on their watch for that the host, that their horses grazed in pasture round the pillar stone on the Ard Cuchulain, the height of Cuchulain. Sualtain's horses cropped the grass north of the pillar stone, close to the ground. Cuchulain cropped the grass south of the pillar stone, even to the ground as the bare stones. Well, O Master Sualtain, said Cuchulain, the thought of the host is fixed sharp upon me tonight. So do thou depart for us with warnings to the men of Ulster, that they remain not in the smooth plains, but that they betake themselves to the woods and wastes and steep glens of the province, if so they may keep out of the way of the men of Erin. And now, lad, what wilt thou do? I must go southwards to Tenmare to keep tryst with the maid of Fenlimid no Crutach of the 9 Forms, Conchobar's daughter, according to my own agreement this morning, till morning. Alas, that one should go on such a journey, said Sualtain, and leave the Ulstermen under the feet of their foes and their enemies for the sake of a tryst with a woman. For all that I needs must go, for an I go not, the troth of men will be held for false, and the promises of women held for true. Sualtain departed with warnings to the men of Ulster. Cuchulain strode into the wood, and there, with a single blow, he lopped the prime sapling of an oak, root and top, and with only 1 foot and 1 hand and 1 eye he exerted himself and made a twig ring thereof, and set Nagrum script on the plug of the ring, and set the ring round the narrow part of the pillar stone on Ard, the height of Cuchulain. He forced the ring till it reached the thick part of the pillar stone. Thereafter Cuchulain went his way to his tryst with the woman. Touching the men of Erin, the account follows here. They came up to the pillar stone at Ard Cuchulain, which is called Cross a Coil today, and they began looking out upon the province that was unknown to them, the province of Ulster. And 2 of Maeve's people went always before them in the van of the host, at every camp, and on every march, at every ford and every river and every gap. They were wont to do so that they might save the brooches and cushions and cloaks of the host, so that the dust of the multitudes might not soil them, and so that no stain might come on the prince's raiment in the crowd or the crush of the host or the throng. These were the two sons of Daire, who were the son of Nuathar, son of Táin, two sons of the house stewards of Cuchulain, and Innel, to wit. Friach and Focham were the names of their charioteers. The nobles of Erin arrived at the pillar stone, and they there beheld the signs of the browsing of the horses cropping around the pillar. And they looked close at the rude hoop which the royal hero had left behind about the pillar stone. And Ihil took the withy in his hand and placed it in Fergus's hand, and Fergus read the Aghrim script graven on the plug of the withy, and made known to the men of Erin what was the meaning of the Aghrim writing that was on it. When Maeve came, she asked, "Why wait ye here?" "Because of yonder withy we wait," Fergus made answer. "There is an Aghrim writing on its binding, and this is what it saith. Let no one go past here till a man be found to throw a withy like unto this, using only one hand and made of a single branch, and I accept my master Fergus, truly." Fergus added, "It was Cuchulain threw it, and it was his steeds that grazed the plain." And he placed the hoop in the hands of the Druids, and it is thus he began to recite, and he pronounced a lay. "What bespeaks this with to us? What purports its secret read? And what number cast it here? Was it one man or a host? If ye go past here this night, and bide not a one night in camp, on ye'll come the tear-flesh hound, yours the blame if ye it scorn. Evil on the host he'll bring, if ye go your way past this. Find ye, Druids, find out here, for what cause this with was made." A Druid speaks, cut by hero, cast by chief, as a perfect trap for foes, stayer of lords with hosts of men, one man cast it with one hand. With fierce rage and battlegins of the smith's hound of Red Branch, bound to meet this madman's rage, this the name that's on its with. Woes to bring with hundred fights, on 4 realms of Erin's hand, not I know lest it be this, for what cause the with was made. After that lay, "I pledge you my word," said Fergus, "if so ye set it not yon withy and the royal hero that made it, and if ye go beyond without passing a night's camp and quarterage here, or until a man of you make a withy of like kind, using but 1 foot and 1 eye and 1 hand, even as he made it, certain it is, whether ye be under the ground or in a tight-shut house, the man that wrote the Aghrim hereon will bring slaughter and bloodshed upon ye before the hour of rising on the morrow, if ye make light of him." "That surely would not be pleasing to us," quoth Maeve, "that any one should straightway spill our blood or besmirch us red, now that we are come to this unknown province, even to the province of Ulster. More pleasing would it be to us to spill another's blood and redden him. Far be it from us to set this withy at naught," said Ihil. "Nor shall we make little of the royal hero that wrought it. Rather we will resort to the shelter of the great wood that is, Fiduin, the wood of the Dun, southwards till morning. There we will pitch our camp and quarters." That was the end of the first half of Part 6 of the Cattle-Raid of Cooley, the March of the Host. Stay tuned for the second half. I'll be posting that soon, and I'll be continuing this story as well. Please take a look at the rest of my videos. I've got the first 5 parts of the story, plus other ones, and a whole bunch more battles, videos. Go to www.celticheroes.info for tons of Celtic Heroes information, maps, guides, tons of good stuff. You'll find it all there. Thanks for watching, everyone.